We are live. We are live covering the iHeart Radio show. Covering the Royal Rumble. Either much. The Royal Rumble. Covering the Royal Rumble. Review. My name is Stephen because I'm talking about I have been up all night, either much studying. So the Royal Rumble in the second premiere and live against a pay-per-view event of the year falling that day one pay-per-view that took place on the New Year Day is really why we have the first two pay-per-views on Saturday instead of Sunday, but I think it's a smart move to be avoid a competition for the NFL on Sunday is of news and rumors going into the year rumble as usually, but there was no kickoff show match. They had a plan taken about the show. They showed a video package, a couple of replays, and that was is for the full hour. So the Royal Rumble was from the Dome at American Center in St. Louis, Missouri on January the 29th. And so you either much know it was a video package as shows some of hype that Royal Rumble clips along with some image of the stars that are set to competition in the year show. It's also forced on the non-Rumble matches as well. This was a show of the Crown in St. Louis with the WrestleMania logo higher in the building. I was a bit surprised by the lack of a pro display to start the show. The SmackDown announcing team of Michael Cole and Pat McAfee in a skinny jacket were on a head to call the action is a Pat first Rumble as the announcement, so he was excited. So Roman Reigns made his entry as the Universal Champion for the first match of the show. Cole put over Roman leap 516 days title reign where notes only a fourth man have hold the title for long pre-do motor Morale as Motor and Bob Backlund, Hulk Hogan, Bruno Sammartino. As we know, going into the match, Roman cousin, the Usos are banned from ringside from this match. Roman got a superstar reception from the crowd with a lot of boos by really it is a lot of noise. Roman paused with his title in the ring as they pro went off in the dome. And so Seth freaking Rollins made his entrance with the Shield music. Seth, instead of his action theme song in the Rollins was in the crowd ran some Shield air. Reigns had a fantasy look on his face to show his was pissed off because Rollins was marking what they did as part of the Shield. Rollins walked down to the ring from upper deck and made his way down to the ringside with a smirk on his face. They stood in the ring for the championship introduction for Samantha Irvin. The crowd was into the match right away. So the Universal Champ Roman Reigns versus Seth freaking Rollins. Reigns went for a Superman punch Rollins ducked and self connected with a few punches of his own and range with a corner clothesline. Rollins with a striking a running forearm. Rollins with a side blend neck breaker. Followed by a clothesline over the top rope to the floor. Rollins with a suicide dive, then back in the ring, and Rollins hit other suicide dive to send Range to the barricade. Back in the ring, Rollins went for a springboard attack, but Reigns stopped him with a uppercut punch. Rollins hit a dive by dropping on the uppercut and Range off the steps. Rollins changed him and Rollins gave Range a power bomb that Cole called a shield bomb through the table. I guess there's not a DQ because it's around the ringside around, but it is unsigning object. The shield put people through tables and lights, so they what Cole was referring to back in the ring. Rollins went up top and hit a frog splash, but to Rollins went up top. He went for a twister splash. Rollins aboard it. Rollins hit a forearm to the back, falling by a buckle bomb into the turnbuckle, followed by Rollins hitting the stump for the 2 count with a Range getting his shoulder up. Rollins changed in against, but Range got back up with a clothesline leading to self. I'm so leading to self doing a flip bump. Range working over Rollins with a repeated forearm to the head. Range gave Rollins a hard power bomb for a 2 count. It looks like Range took a shot to the left side of his face near his eyes since it was red around there. Range talked to Rollins about self-legging at him. Rollins went for a triangle choke submission and Rollins connected with a power bomb. They left the ring with Rollins sending Rollins into the barricade at ringside. Rollins whooping um Range whipping Rollins into the steel steps back in the ring, and Range hit a Superman punch for a 2 count. They moved that unsure to get a 2 count, but it's still a big move for Range. Rollins was out of the floor. So Range left the ring and hit a spear well on the floor. They were back in the ring. Range went for a spear again, and Rollins connected, countering a two and a pedigree that was cool, and it got a 2 count. Rollins was back to his feet with the fans cheering him even though he been a heel. They were cheering, burn it down as Rollins stumped his feet. Rollins uh forget out of a power move. Then Rollins come back with a uppercut. Range ran the rope leading to a spear well as Rollins lead and put his foot fence out as if he wanted to do a sheer pause against Rollins always. I love you that meet that Range did go for a cover after their spear. Range was talking to him to stay forcing, leading to Rollins um apply the grit choke that he was using to win many matches over the last 2 years, but Rollins was able to push forward and Rollins was able to get his right hand on the bottom rope. The way it was done. Saw a referee left self hand up and it come down with self hand grabbing the ropes. Reigns didn't let go off the grit choke hold at the counter of 5, so referee Charles Robinson called for the disqualification. Reigns countered to hold on. Reigns he wanted allow me to let go. It went 14 and 25 minutes. So this feud with Seth Rollins, and you see ever since WWE was booking him well as a babyface, Seth Rollins was either much was he ended up beating Finn Balor in the Miz at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Champion. Him beating Baron Corbin. Him and Becky Lynch was teaming up, they beat Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans. And then you had him beating Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam and beating Braun Strowman. I mean, they was just booking him way better as a babyface. And I don't think this over with Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, not even much by a long shot that it ain't. Because with Roman Reigns, it ain't no way that he would be losing that WWE championship to Roman Reigns, because WWE, they ended up booking him strong against Kevin Owens at Money. I mean against they beat it. He beat it Braun Strowman away. Bray Wyatt at WWE Payback Rules and turned around and beat it Braun Strowman. He beat it Kevin Owens at TLC Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. He beat it Edge at WWE Money in the Bank. He has beat it Edge at Money in the Bank. And then turn around and either much had beat it Kevin Owens at WWE Royal Rumble, and then turn around and either much had beat it um Roman Reigns had turned around and either much beat it Rey Mysterio at WWE Hell in a Cell, and then turn around and either much beat it had beat it. Can't think of this. I mean, dude, name, because Roman Reigns turned around and beat Seth Rollins. Because I don't think it's over between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Not either much about a long shot, and they will have Seth Rollins beat Roman Reigns at WWE Elimination Chamber. Because either much with Roman Reigns, I already know that WWE was going back with that story line with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, and they was building it up. So you know we gotta get rid. How many times I gotta tell you that WWE is not even much trying? They are afraid to build up these WWE young superstars. They are afraid to build up a Sasuke Blackheart. They are afraid to build up a Xia Li. They didn't book her better when she was in NXT. What make you think they gonna want to book her better when she was on a WWE main roster? They didn't book her better when she was in the I was surprised they didn't use Xia Li on the on in the women's Royal Rumble. I was surprised they didn't even much use. So they keep going back to Brock Lesnar and they keep going back to Roman Reigns. They want to keep pushing him. WWE want to keep pushing, want to keep bringing back Bill Goldberg. He's 54 years old, going on 55. What you gonna do when Bill Goldberg can't even much do it no more? And what you gonna do when Roman Reigns retire? He's gonna be in Hollywood with his cousin making millions of bucks shooting movies, doing a project film, and then either much doing producing with his cousin. Look, he can't do it no more. Who are you either much gonna go to? Because the way how I'm seeing this though, like WWE bringing back Ronda Rousey, and you know they are bringing her back on television, and I told y'all that yesterday that WWE is bringing back Ronda Rousey so they can either much build her up to face Becky Lynch and for that WWE Raw Women's Championship. Because when you know that if Becky Ronda Rousey is a badass, she's a killer, she got that MMA background, and she has been, I think she is 30 and 1 and 2 in MMA because she been a MMA UFC championship. And then Ronda Rousey, when she was there, she has beaten people like Don Jack. She's beaten people like Either Much. Beaten people like Tamina, Natalia. She has beaten people like Alicia Fox. She has beaten people like Bailey. She has beaten people like Alexa Bliss. And when she won that SmackDown Women's Raw Women Championship back at SummerSlam, and Ronda Rousey is the one that is gonna be is really gonna be the one that take that WWE Championship off of her, but off of Becky Lynch at WrestleMania because you know Fox need her service over there on SmackDown and USA need Ronda Rousey over there on SmackDown. I'm sure WWE gonna go after repeat next week after repeat next week, and that's what they are gonna be doing. And then when Bailey comes back, where do you go from here? Because she's gonna be coming back around March. I mean, I'm sorry, right after WrestleMania. Bailey is gonna be coming back around right after WrestleMania. And that's when she's gonna be coming back. So this post match with I mean the winning by disqualification Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns and they remain Universal Champion. This match was a great, even with this DQ finish. I know the fans are going to hate that I was a DQ, but I am awesome that was done with a possible leading to something else down the road. I like how it was booked with Rollins on a fire in the first few minutes. He got a lot of the offense coming closer to win a few times. When Rain hit a spear, he didn't even go for a cover because he and Rollins was trim tighten him, waiting a first bump in range, lost his mind at bet after that. I don't love the ending because we want to see a clean finish at a major pay-per-view, even however it does lead into the possibility of other big matches in the future. So I am in intriguing to see where it goes from here. So this post match, Roman Reigns was standing by the ropes looking furious about this the fans chant Roman suck repeatedly. Reigns left the ring. He grabbed a chair and hit Rollins with a chair to the back. And Reigns destroyed Rollins with a repeat chair shot to the back and the body of Rollins. And Reigns let out a deep heel as if to show he was happy with what he just did. Is looked at like Range was going to leave, but then he grabbed the other's chair and went back into the ring to hit Rollins with more chair shots to the back. Reigns left it with the Universal title. Well, Rollins went down in the ring selling the Buta chair track. Well, Range went to the back and Range was down selling the cut away before Rollins got back up. and a beautiful attack from Reigns, showing just how much that he hated Rollins and went to hurt him. Rollins pissed it off Reigns so much Reigns lost his mind when they have the next match. It should have the stipulation on it. And that match is going to be taking place at the Elimination Chamber in a disqualification match. And then you have Reigns going to beat Seth Rollins. I'm sorry, yeah, Reigns is going to beat Seth Rollins. He is going to be going into WrestleMania with that WWE Championship. Because a video as from WrestleMania 38, Dallas is noticed it was 63 days away on Saturday, April the 2nd, and Sunday, April the 3rd, the Raw. So we get the 30 Women's Royal Rumble match. And we either much have so Sasha Banks was up first as the number one in the women's Royal Rumble match. Banks got a full entrance with the crowd pop for her first is legendary entrance at two because a former women champion Melina was up next. That cool started to the match. The crowd popped for a Mania memories interest. Banks and Melina did some trash talking early in the match. Banks blocked a kick, hit a knee to the face, and a dump Melina over the top to the floor. Banks marking Melina's spitting after the elimination as well. Tamina was next in number three. Banks doing a baseball side drop kick before Tamina made it into the ring. Back hit a double knee attack on Tamina on the floor. They went back into the ring with Banks heading a bulldog followed by the running knee to the face. Two more times Tamina went ahead, but it's Kelly at four with the fans cheering for her as a former women's champion as well. Kelly went a forearm on Tamina followed by a slap. Looking ahead says that don't looked great. Kelly did a head sprain corner, a elbow. Tamina knocked it Kelly over with a clothesline. Kelly used her leg to choke Banks by the ropes. Kelly put herself near the ropes and Banks knocked it Kelly over the top to the floor. Aaliyah was still as a newcomer. Excuse me. Excuse me. I said a excuse me, newcomer. I mean, you know, Tamina knocked Kelly over with a clothesline. Kelly would use her legs to choke Banks by the ropes. Kelly put herself nearly the ropes and Banks knocked it Kelly over the top to the floor. Aaliyah was billed as a newcomer and on SmackDown. Aaliyah with a those um pass it on Banks, falling by some punch to meet him when after Aaliyah. There was a kick from Aaliyah and Banks tried to eliminate Aaliyah. Banks sending Aaliyah over the top to the apron. Aaliyah's side back in the Banks hit a knee to the ribs. Liv Morgan from Raw was six as she hit Aaliyah with a drop kick. Morgan kicked the Banks into the ropes. Banks nearly went over the Tamina, hit Morgan to stop that. Morgan with a missile drop kick off the middle rope on Tamina, and Morgan pointed at the WrestleMania sign. Banks hit Aaliyah with the uh their three amigos suplex for Eddie Guerrero. Queen Selena Vega was 7 as she went after Aaliyah with a kick, Banks with a knee to Selena. Then Tamina left it up Banks to the apron and Selena kicked it Banks off the apron to the floor. That draw a big reception since Banks was popular with the crowd and a big name here. Some stars Power 8 with last year winner Bianca Belair running down to the ring. Belair lasted nearly 1 hour last year to win. Belair involved in changing to mean and kicking to the head by Belair and Vega jumping on Belair back and Belair picked it up Vega for the daily delay suplex. Belair sent Morgan over the top to the apron, but Morgan healed on Belair with a head spring movesaw on Vega in the ring. Dana and Brooke was at 9 as the 24/7. I thought she did bring her title with her. She had her friend Reggie with her. Brooke lifted up Vega over the top, but Tamina grabbed it, Brooke by the hair, and Brooke with a drop kick on Tamina and a head spring elbow on Belair along with a neck break on Morgan. Belair lifted up Aaliyah to the top rope. Morgan nearly dumped it Belair, but Belair healed on the there were 6 women in the ring as 10 Michelle McCool made her entry and she others former women champion McCool with a kick on Tamina. McCool kicked at Brooks but Reginald chased Brooke to save her. McCool hit the fake Baker on Vega. Brooke jumped on off the top. McCool hit her with a boot to the face, and McCool dumped it Brooke to Mina, knocking down McCool right after the 6 women paired off the difference in corner. And you have Sonya Deville was next at number 11 as a WWE official with the announce saying with her jacket off, she in the offices, but if she took the jacket off, she is a carpenter. DeVille chose not to go in the rain side, and instead she sat down on commentary. DeVille said she took off the jacket when she is ready. Natalia was next at 12 with her Guinness World Record, and she took her time getting down to the ring. Natalia was attacked by Morgan as soon as she got him there, but then Natalia lifted Morgan over the top. Natalia kicked at Morgan to knock her down. Bella lifted Natalia, then Tamina saved her former partner. Natalia and Tamina tried to get rid of Bianca. Natalia dumped Tamina out well, also tried to get rid of Bianca, and Bianca hold out to the ropes and avoid the elimination that was close. And the camera was 13 as a former Funkadackel with Naomi that hasn't been in a WWE ring in a long time. Cameron was a head scissor following a double knee to Vega and a bulldog on the tag. DeVille went to the ring to go after Cameron, who was a good friend of Naomi and DeVille lifted Cameron to the apron. DeVille sent Cameron into the ring post, so Cameron bumped it to the floor, and Cameron was eliminated. Thanking for showing up. And Rain overclosed there. Naomi on 14 with shocking by hey. There, Naomi at 14 was shocking by hey. Naomi ran down to the ring where she checked it on her friend Cameron, and Naomi went into uh Naomi. send the bill over the top to the apron and a kick by Eliminate the Bill. Naomi hit a jaw-breaking like move on Natalia. Cameron was 15 with Corey Gray going um, crazy for a fantasy, making her instance by saying that she was the favorite to win the match. Sachs disagreed with that. Belair with battled Morgan by the turnbuckle. Natalia nearly eliminated Belair against, and Carmella showed made her way into the ring. Belair tried to eliminate McCool. Natalia joined in, but McCool figured them off. Cameron stayed on the floor during that entrance period where she was trying spooked to enter. And then Rhea Ripley at 16, as she realizes Cameron wasn't in yet, so she sent Carmella into the ring. Carmella had ringside attendant put a mask on Carmella face in the tag, hit Rhea Ripley clothesline base. Carmella tried to eliminate Rhea Ripley, lifted them both off the top. Rhea hit a drop kick on both women to eliminate them. Rhea stood in the middle of the ring while taking his move on every other woman in the ring, but a match, match. I mean, them both on the top. Rhea hit a drop kick on both women to eliminate them. Rhea stood in the middle of the ring, well, talking hidden moves on every woman in the match. Big name at 17 because it was the SmackDown Women Champion Flair talking her time to walk down the out aisle where the fans cheered and wooed for, and her and Belair and Naomi tried to eliminate Natalia, but Natalia was a better to hang on to a board for a fourth elimination, and Flair entering the match was a shot to Rhea, a boot to Aaliyah, and she tossed Aaliyah out. Flair hit a fallaway slam on Morgan. Flair was chopped to Naomi, and then Naomi went for a head scissor, and Flair sent Naomi to the apron. Naomi tried to save herself by doing a head standing on the floor, but Sonya Deville shower up pulled Naomi by the head to the floor. That draw boos as Naomi was eliminated. The WWE Hall of Famer Ivory was in at 18 as the oldest woman in the match, and she was dressed in a right as a sing-song gear. Iron did a promo saying there's nothing had changed because it's hard to look at those girls. Ivory said she saw some wild wear lost. Little girl Ivory was in the ring doing the promo, so Rhea lifted her over the top to the apron and she her off the apron to the floor. Ivory howled, dare you think for showing up. Ivory there, women, six women in the ring, Belair and Flair, McCool and Morgan, Natalia and Rhea. There are other Hall of Famers because Brie Bella was 19, was Brie running into the ring with a clothesline. Then the fan chant yes for Brie due to her husband Daniel Bryan, truly an elite talent, and Brie eliminated. but Natalia avoided elimination again. Natalia tries to dump Brie over Brie. Figure back with kicks, and Brie is on Ripley and Belair working together on Flair for double super putting Flair on the apron. They were not able to get Flair out. Mickie James was 20 as hardcore country. She was wearing the Impact Wrestling, knocking out the title around her waist. I am so glad that she got to use that song, and she hold up her title with a pop that was such a crowd moment, and I am so happy for her. James went after McCool since that's a oldest rival. James did a head scissors to send McCool over the top to the floor with both of Michelle from touching the floor. Yeah, I mean, like the Undertaker, his wife was there backstage. He was back there supporting his wife. Then you had Charlotte, and she didn't have no business getting involved into the match. And she the WWE SmackDown Women's Champion. And then you didn't have Paige. She didn't return. You have Brie Bella and Nikki Bella. Look, nobody don't give a fuck about the Bellas returning and them challenging Zelina Vega and Carmella to take the belts off of them at Elimination Chamber. I mean, it really don't mean shit. The women's division is still a dysfunctional. And there was women 10 women left after Leah entered at 21 with some impressive drop kicks along with a X kick on Michelle neck for Natalia, each grabbing each other hair for a takedown for it was lifted over the top to the apron. Charlotte tries to get Natalia out, but Natalia holds on. The cloud continued down again. Nikki Ash was tried to get Natalia out of Natalia. Hold on, and the clock continues down again. Natalia, Nikki Ash, and 22 with Rhea Ripley waiting for her in the ring. There was no sign of Nikki immediately into their a a side. So Nikki showed up for behind to try to get rid of Ripley. Nikki sent Rhea to the apron, but Rhea stumped it for her elimination. Nikki went up under the bottom row to the floor, so Flair hit Rhea in the back. James was trying to get rid of Morgan. Well, Sachs noticed that Morgan was in the ring for over 30 minutes at the point. Rhea wear a hard chop to Flair, and the clock trick down again. With 9 women in the match, Summer Rae was 23 with Saxon. Noticed note that she had been out of action for 5 years. Summer went right after Natalia with a punch. Natalia slapped at her right in the face. Then they exchanged more slaps, and Summer hit a spring kick to the head. Flair knocked it down Summer, leading to a cheer. Natalia picked it up Summer and dumped it her over the top to the floor. Thanking for showing up, Flair tried to get rid of Natalia with a Flair, sending her to the apron. But Natalia was available, kicking herself free. There are others, Nikki in the match with Nikki Bella getting a big recession 24 and other Hall of Famers in the match. Nikki had neck issues, but she clear and she used her to attack Belair and Natalia. Nikki hit a spine bust on Natalia. Belair sent a box to the apron. The Bellas hit a double flat on Belair Fox did a team Belair shot it off with Bellas, but then the Bellas punched her to eliminate Fox. Her other former superstars as Sarah Logan made her entrance at 25, and she and other women that has had a baby since was left the WWE. She married to Ike of the Bacon Raiders. Logan hit a impressive headbutt to Nikki Bella, and Logan saw her friend Morgan in the ring, but the Bellas knocked it from both down. The Bellas tossed it Logan over the top to the floor. Morgan went for a cross-body block attack. The Bellas challenged her Morgan to the apron, and Bellas kicked Morgan out. The fans booed that Morgan and Logan were down on the floor together. There was a big pop from other Hall of Famers. Lita at 26, great reception for Lita. Lita with a superplex on Nikki James, hit Lita in the back with a forearm. James went for a head scissors to the apron, and Lita hit James with a DDT, leading to James going to the floor since Mickey went over the top to the apron. She was eliminated for the match. They made me sad. I was hoping Mickey could have had a few memories moment in the match. Molly Holly at might Molly was 27 as others Hall of Famers in the match, but Nikki Ash attacked Molly, a white whipping her into the steel steps. Nikki Ash yelled at Molly about how there can only be one superhero. Nikki Ash lifted Molly over the top to the floor, hanging pop for 28. Ronda Rousey make her WWE return after 3 years. Everybody in the ring stopped it. What they were doing to start at Starry. At Rousey, it was a big overton for Rousey, who punched at Nikki Bella. Hmm. So Rousey sent Nikki Ash and the Nikki Bella each to the apron, and she kicked the Nikki Ash off the apron to the floor. Bree tried to save Sister Nikki, then Bree punched Nikki and eliminate her. Rousey worked it over Bree with punches. There was only two sports left, with Saskia Blackheart at 29, and she went up tossed with a cross-body block onto Rhea Belair. The ring, Saskia went a scissors kick on the player. Rousey tossed Brie out of over the top to the floor. I don't know if Brie was Supposed to stay on the apron, but she was on out to the floor. Lita used her leg to take down Sasuke, and Belair was in the for over 40 minutes at the point. This 30 entrance as the last women in the match was Shayna Baszler. Rousey was happy to see her friend entering this match. And Baszler was on fire with suplex and knocking players, 7 women in the match. Rousey fought face off with Baszler, but then Charlotte hit Baszler with a forearm in the jaw. Natalia after Rousey, who put Natalia onto the apron. Rousey kicked Sasuke and tossed her over the top to the floor. Rousey went for a arm bar on Natalia for the roast, but Belair went over and saw Natalia, who had gone over the top, and Belair kicked her out. Natalia went back in for some reason. Rousey grabbed at her, tossed her out. Maybe Natalia wasn't eliminated before, and Lita dropped the player with a twist of fate. Lita hit a Hurricane Corona off the middle rope on Ripley. Leah knocked it Ripley down well about the turnbuckle. Lita went up top and Rhea saw the leader to the apron. Player got back up, then kicked it. Lita out the apron to the floor. The fans booed it. There were five women left in the ring with Rhea left it. Rhea out but Rousey got a hold Ripley on. Flair got involved. Ripley salted Rousey into the ring post and Flair kicked it rear out the apron to the floor. And the final four were Bianca Belair and Charlotte and Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey. And Belair in with a spine bust on Baszler. And Belair went for a moves off the ropes. Baszler went for the cleaner clutch. Belair got out of the that and Flair dumped it Baszler. Belair out of the hold on, it jumped. I'll be back. I said Bella got out of that and Flair dumped it Baszler and Bella out of the same time. So Rousey and Flair forced it out as the final two with the fans getting loud for the SmackDown with Rousey chanting Flair with for a running kick. Rousey chanted her and dumped it Flair over the top to the floor. It was 59 and 40 seconds. She lasted long in that match. So we either much was getting look. Either much with Ronda Rousey, you know she's gonna be popping up on Monday Night Raw tomorrow and see if she's gonna challenge Becky Lynch for that Raw Women Champion. And you know Fox, they gonna end up needing her services over there on Friday night SmackDown. She's gonna be getting in the face of Charlotte, and the next thing you either much know that Charlotte is going Ronda Rousey is going to be getting in the face into Becky Lynch. So I'm telling you this right now that where do Bianca Belair go from? You got Alexa Bliss, she just need to get out of that Bray Wyatt gimmick and go back to the goddesses. And then you know Bayley is gonna be coming back for WrestleMania. She's gonna need somebody to work with. Bianca Belair, they done builded her up against Sasha Banks at WrestleMania. She beat Billy at WWE Hell in a Cell, Backlash. Um, would have beaten her at Money in the Bank in a no disqualification match. And then WWE would have built Bianca Belair up strong as a WWE SmackDown Women Champion. She beat Carmella twice, and WWE did the best they can to build her up as a WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. And what WWE creator did, they done fucked that booking up. They had Becky Lynch come in and just squashed it Bianca Belair and beat her for 27 seconds and took that SmackDown Women's Championship off of her. And I was so pissed off about that. And people gonna talk about she ain't never gonna recover from it. But look, on Monday Night Raw, I will be watching. I don't know if I want to do Monday Night Raw review or not, but you know, the viewers is either much is going low. And we already seen Charlotte beat it been in the ring with Ronda Rousey at WWE Survivor Series. We already done seen that. So what make you either much think that that Charlotte, you see, look, I'm getting sick and tired of Charlotte getting title shot at the title opportunity back and forth because I want to see somebody else get a title shot in the company. Because Charlotte ain't putting nobody over in the company. And I don't care if she is a 7-time world, a 12-time WWE champion, and you a 5-time SmackDown Women Championship and a 4-time Raw Women's Championship, whatever her number is, because she don't care about nobody in that locker room but her damn self, and she want to bury them who is up under her. And so with Ronda Rousey winning the Royal Rumble, look, I'm not mad about that. Because with Ronda Rousey winning the Royal Rumble, because number one, that she don't either much like the WWE fan base. And I don't much blame because fans, they are that's an asshole. That's all they is because they probably hate it because you made your return to the Royal Rumble and won it, and they done fucked over Sasha Banks how they did her booking dirty, and I wanted her to last in the ring for long. That's how I either much wanted Sasha Banks to be because she would have challenged Charlotte at a WrestleMania for that WWE champion. And let's see if Sasha Banks is going to be a 5-on-5 elimination chamber match coming up February the 19th and a 5-on-5 man's elimination match. And then you can have Sasha Banks win the Royal Rumble. I'm sorry, the Elimination Chamber and go on to WrestleMania and challenge Charlotte because she is going to need her a opponent to work with because you don't have no top um baby faces on SmackDown and Raw don't have no idea what they doing over there on that brand. So let me get into this. This match was okay for the most part, but I call it around a average for a Royal Rumble. Ronda Rousey made her pick to a win. She was popular pick for a lot of us, and obvious that because on the news that she was a popular going to be there are the rumors at a WrestleMania match, Charlotte Flair against Rousey. So it's no surprise that they had Flair as the final two with Rousey. And a lot of the former stars there was in the match. Barry did anything, and many of them were only in their ring replies. They were there to feel the sports. I was hoping we see, but more from Mickey James instrument with Flair and somebody else like that leader. Getting rid of Mickey was a nice nod to their history since they were in the company at the same time. Natalia holds on the from elimination a lot until she got tossed out near the end. Bianca Belair had strong show, and I thought if Rousey wasn't in the match, she may have won again. I am not surprised the results at all. I picked Rousey because I awesome if she was in there, then she was going to win, and that what happened. So Rousey is celebrating, then win by a point at the WrestleMania time. The pro went out the fan cheered. Rousey had a smile on her face. She walked into the back as the victory. And we get up next we get Doudrop made her entry of the challenge for the Raw Women Champion. Becky Lynch was next as the Raw Women Champion. A big time Bex got a big reception as usual. The Raw Women Champion Becky Lynch versus Doudrop. I missed a few managed due to needed a bet off a break after the last long match. Dewdrop was in control with a head, but she went a splash off the ropes and Lynch got away from her with a breaker to the floor. Back in the ring, Dewdrop jumped it on Lynch back with a suntan splash. Lynch was on the floor again. Dewdrop went for the cannonball. Lynch moved it in. Dewdrop hit the steel steps. Lynch grabbed a chin like Dewdrop break free and went for a move, but Lynch applies a chin lock against the fans were praying attended to something in the crowd. So Lynch just hold onto the chin lock for long. So APPARENTLY. Apron, the WrestleMania sign was on fire after a pro from Rousey when Doudrop got back up to her feet, landing to Doudrop, driving Lynch backwards into the turnbuckle. Lynch come back with a missile drop kick out the top to the floor. Top for a 2 count. Lynch trash talked to Doudrop saying she doesn't know who she is in the ring with a Dewdrop ducked her with a slap to the face. Dewdrop was a belly to belly back suplex, a back slam, and a running senton splash for 2. Lynch was available to come back with a DISARM disarm her submission. Dewdrop forgot out of it, and Lynch kicked the Dewdrop repeatedly while going for a cross arm breaker. Dewdrop got back up to her feet with a power bomb for 2 count. Dewdrop with a running cannonball splash on Lynch for because on for a 2 count, Dewdrop went for a splash off the middle rope. Lynch got her knee up to block, and Lynch hit a smooth saw dive off the top rope and onto Dewdrop for a 2 count. That's the Molly go around move that Molly Holly used to use. Lynch working over Dewdrop with a punch. Well, as Dewdrop was trying to be the ropes, Lynch went for a leg drop off the middle rope. Dewdrop moving. Dewdrop delivered some head, but Lynch with a head neck breaker against the top rope, and she tipped it. Dewdrop across the top rope, landing to Lynch, jumping off the top with a leg drop for a 2 count. Dewdrop got back into the by picking up Lynch and Dewdrop hit to the mat. Lynch a big end for a 2 count. The fans were a recession too much, but they got a bat off a recession. Dewdrop to the middle rope. Lynch hit a chop block to the back on the leg, and Lynch hit the man hammer slam off the middle rope for the pinfall win at 13-02. I mean, nobody don't look. Dewdrop only lost 3 times to Bianca. Then you have her win a triple threat match. She ends up beating Leah Morgan and Bianca, and you think she deserve a title shot. That's weak booking. You have her lose to Bianca. Look, WWE don't give a fuck about no Dewdrop. Okay, they were WWE creators is just lackey. Okay, they lackey, they lazy with booking, they terrible on this show, and WWE seem to not give a fuck about Dewdrop or pushing her. And that's why, and you know Becky Lynch was not even much was gonna drop that title to Dewdrop, and I know she was gonna win because she have a program to be with Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. And you know when she come on Monday Night Raw, she gonna say, "Y'all didn't care nothing about my match when I beat a Dewdrop at WrestleMania." And she is gonna get booed because our heel turn has either much been a disaster since she got back. So it was a solid match where they was working hard, trying their best, and the fans just didn't really care that much until they finished. The finish was well done because it was Becky first off the middle rope on a big woman like Dewdrop. So it was a big spot to end the match. I don't think anybody watches to end the match. I don't think anybody watches in the arena or at home through Dewdrop was going to win, but I think WWE booked themselves in a corner by booking two heels against each other because it's thought to make the fans care about a match like that. They did that because they needed other women in the Rumble match anyway. That if it for Dewdrop title chase for now. Lynch will probably carry their title to WrestleMania. Yeah, she is. So we get this match, the WWE Champion match between champion Brock Lesnar challenge Bobby Ashley was up next. There was a video package for a great video package for this match. Bobby made his entrance first with his buddy Materius Porter by his side. Brock Lesnar walked it out with the WWE champion around his waist, where his African Paul Heyman was by his side. Uh, Lesnar had his uh, long hair, tried up a bite on the top of his head, while rocking a beard. Mike Rome did the championship introduction for Lesnar as they challenge. However, Paul Heyman grabbed the microphone from him and introduced with the fan cheering along for the uh, film meal perch that Heyman used for Lesnar. Brock was happy about it too. And so they did a post shoot before locking up Lesnar, got a hold of Lesnar, and Lesnar hit a German suplex with Lesnar popping up right away that circle each other in the ring away again. Lesnar got a hold of Lesnar, and Lesnar hit a German suplex with Lesnar hitting higher on his back. Lesnar locked his head around that waist, leading to a German suplex in a row with Lesnar getting back up again. Lesnar with a purchase. Lesnar wanted a F5. Lesnar slapping out of sending Lesnar into the ring ropes. And Lesnar hit a spear. Lesnar hit other spear, leading to Lesnar going to the floor for a break. Lesnar changed on the floor. Lesnar moved, and Lesnar were crashing through. Crashing through the barricade at right side right ringside. Lesnar pointed at his head, showing that he was smart and he was ready for it. Lesnar got back up. He was available to count Lesnar and sending Lesnar into the ring post back in the ring. And Lesnar charged. Lesnar moved and Lesnar hit the middle turnbuckle. Lesnar got a hold off the Lesnar lead in a other German suplex. Lesnar hit of the hanging German suplex with Lesnar leading hard on the neck. Lesnar with other German suplex all through this time. Lesnar turned a bit and took the bumps more on his side. Lesnar with a other German suplex as Lesnar was down selling. Well, Lesnar stood on top with forearms to the back. Lesnar with other German suplex. So I think that was fine in a row. Lesnar wanted the F5 stripping out of it and applied the hurt lock submission with Lesnar locking his hand behind Lesnar. Harley Lesnar was selling it by stumbling around it, but selling the pain of the moves. But the Lesnar revolved Ashley so that he squashed it. Lesnar again, the referee Chad Patton's against the turnbuckle. Lesnar got Lesnar on his shoulder and hit a F5 with Lesnar leg hitting the referee Patterson in the head. The referee Chad Patterson went on the floor as Lesnar tried to pin Ashley. Lesnar was walking around the ring, turning around, and Reigns hit Lesnar with a spear. Reigns started at his former special counsel and told Heyman to hand him the WWE title. So Heyman did that. Reigns waited for Lesnar to get back up to his feet. He challenged at Lesnar and Reigns hit Lesnar with the WWE champion in the head. Reigns tossed the title down. Heyman walked it away with Reigns and Lesnar covering Lesnar to become the WWE champion. This went 10 and 17 minutes. With look, you know WWE was gonna go in that direction. I said that on my prediction at the Royal Rumble. I said, Bobby Ashley need a lot of help to regain that WWE championship back. Once I said that, Roman Reigns came out and hit him with a spear, got in the ring while the referee was laid. I hit him with the WWE champion, and you know that Bobby Ashley was gonna regain that WWE championship from Roman Reigns, and then they was because they was gonna have Brock Lesnar get into the Royal Rumble and win it, and WWE was going right back up that feud again and booked it. That story line, but we don't know how long is Brock Lesnar gonna be sticking around. We don't know because that was supposed to be for the Royal Rumble was supposed to be for Drew McIntyre to win. That's what it's supposed to be. Because you remember last year that he didn't win it in front of, back at WrestleMania 36, he didn't win it in front of no fans. He won it in front of a empty crowd. That's who he won it in front of. So when he beat Brock Lesnar. So Drew McIntyre is going to be the one probably going to try to win the Elimination Chamber. And then if he do, he is gonna slide right into that WWE Universal Championship match, and that make it a triple threat match right there. So it was pretty good for the most part with a lot of It was pretty good for the most part, with a lot of suplex leading to convince Spurs with range getting involved. They probably went too heavy with the German suplex. I thought they did a good, did like a based this DADEBASCATING this based been. I just think it would have been cool if they did some MMA type holds and maybe some brawl. A bit I liked it Lesnar evolved the spot on the floor leading to Ashley going through the barricade early in the match. Lesnar dominated a lot of the match after that and nearly had a lot of the match after they had nearly had it won, if not for the referee bump. The big thing was Heyman turning on Lesnar, which is not a shocking to me because I have writing about that in the past. I thought I didn't pretends it on the show. We know WWE want to do Reigns versus Lesnar again, so obvious they can't get there with Lesnar seeking revenge for Reigns costing him the WWE title. That fine with me. So that match that Brock Lesnar on hold the title for 4 weeks, they can always so back Lesnar rematch down the road with a clear finish if that what they want to do that a big rematch for later in the year. Also, Reign bringing back with Heyman scene right again. I like that part a lot. So we get a match uh, with Edge and Maurice versus The Miz, what I really didn't give a fuck about. So The Miz, Edge, Bell Phoenix versus the Maurice. Miz and Edge start the match. Maurice got in a clip shot on Edge, so Miz and knocking Edge out of the ring. Miz working over Edge with some kicks to the body. Then Edge ducks and kick, and Edge got a roll up. Miz hitting a neck breaker for a two. Miz set up Edge on the middle row, so Maurice hit a running slap um to Edge face. Beth grabbed a steel chair to chase Maurice, and then the women's got a back on the apron. Miz was starting at the referee doing that, so Edge hit the Edge cut a DDT on the Miz. Beth wanted the Edge. Maurice don't want to go in, and Edge kicked it. Miz out of the ring. Maurice tried to stop Edge. Bell, but Bell tagging in with a clothesline, some head slam into the mat. Bell hit a spine sidewalk slam on Maurice for a two count with the Miz, making the save. Miz turned around to face off with Miz. They face like this show. And Miz said he's going to kick Edge ass, but slamming Miz into the turnbuckle, falling by purchase. The Maurice got back up with the ready, loaded purse to Beth back for the two count. Maurice threw the purse out of the ring after she used it. Maurice stumped it on Beth and Beth falling by her hair, tossed it. Tanton against the ropes. Maurice applied a chin lock. Beth got out of it and they did a double clothesline. Edge tagging in against Miz with a clothesline, a forearm, and is sitting out neck breaker for a two. Edge went to the top rope. Miz went after him. Maurice got in a chop shot, so Beth knocking Maurice off the apron and Beth hitting a power bomb on the Miz and Edge jumping off of the top with a elbow drop for the two count. Maurice went after Beth on the apron and pulling her down. Maurice whipping Beth into the steel stairs. Edge hit a flapjack on Miz. Edge went for a spear. Miz grabbed his leg, Edge, and breaking free a missile spear landing, leading to Edge, hitting the middle turnbuckle. Maurice jumped it off the top rope with a Hurricane Corona. Edge, I didn't expect that Maurice hit her DDT on Beth, and Miz hit the Skull Crusher finale on Edge for a two count. Beth was back in with a spear on Maurice. Edge and Beth each ran the ropes with a double spear on Miz at the same time. Edge hit the Graham slam on the Miz, where Beth hit the Graham slam on Maurice for the pin. Win at 12:35. So Ed, look, with Edge though, I'm glad this feud though between him and Beth Phoenix. I mean, with Beth Phoenix and Edge and Maurice. Look, the fans don't give a fuck about this match because you know I don't like the Miz. I don't care if WWE bought back Maurice and do a match with them. I just don't care. Really don't. Because we should be getting a match with Edge versus AJ Styles or Kevin Owens. That's the last thing I want to see WWE do, a match with Edge versus AJ Styles. That's all I either much want to see. So before Edge decided to hang his boots up, that was about as well as I expect with the face. Edge and Beth getting the win to put an end to this rivalry that was going out, on for about 2 months. Giving Maurice credit for getting involved more in the match, a lot more than expected because she did a bump each in the match. We're also hitting more moves than I think Edge and Bell hit some cool tag team moves dealing the match as well. Something else I really add is that the referee allowed all four wrestlers in the ring a lot. So I mean that didn't follow teams tag teams rules well, but I get why they did it to do something a double team moves. So the Hall of Famer, uh, great couple of Edge and Bell Phoenix celebrate they win. The two youngest daughters with sitting at ringside. So Edge went over to them and they camera cut away at the point. And the last match, what I want to do is the 30-man Royal Rumble match. And so this in entering rivalry for the Royal Rumble match or at 90 seconds, I don't think it's wrote that for the women's match, but that was WWE usually does it AJ Styles at first. Hey, I thought AJ Styles was gonna win it, but look, WWE they suck, so he wasn't gonna last that long in a match to get a WWE title opportunity. So in Shinsuke Nakamura with uh Matt Mac MCALE Mather doing something, dancing, doing Nakamura interest as usual. Styles blocked and Nakamura kicked it. Then he did a dragon screw leg whip and Nakamura tried to do a suplex, but Styles blocked that with a elbow, smashing Nakamura with a kick to the head. Styles aboard a chain changing Nakamura, leading to a side for one to the head. Austin Theory was three, came in at number three with the announcement talking about how he was like Vince McMahon put a project those days on Raw. Theory with a shoulder tackle to Styles, falling by a drop kicking Theory hit a belly to belly back suplex style, tried to eliminate Theory, but Theory he held on a stump on Styles. It was Robert Roode at four, with McAfee saying that might be the year of Rude I debuted. That Rude was a spine buster on Nakamura's spine buster on Theory, and Rude faced off with Styles with some 10 chant. Rude sent Styles to the apron. Styles jumped it back in with a sunset flick, and Rude hit Styles with a forearm. Styles sent it Rude over the top, falling by a forearm to knock Rude out of the ring. Theory knocked it down. Styles and Nakamura hit a overhead. Styles Theory come back with a spine buster, back buster on Nakamura, riding Holland with five making his first Rumble appearance, and he was wearing a protected face mask. No reception from Holland as he has a shoulder tackle on Theory, falling by a overhead suplex. Styles battering Nakamura with a AJ Styles hit and kicking to knock Nakamura out the apron to eliminate him. Hollins with a suplex on Styles, and Hollins hit Styles with a forearm. Well, Theory punched Holly down. So it was Montez Ford, the Street Profits at six, with Ford nearly tossed out Styles, but AJ Styles on forward hit an impressive drop kick on Theory. He tossed it Theory over the top to the apron. Floyd was jumping kick, and the Hollies coming back with a power slam. Hollies with a back body drop on Styles. Damian Priest was seven. The current United States champ Priest got eliminated last year accordingly to Cole, and Priest hit a backbreaker on Theory, and Styles tried to toss Priest out, but Priest hold on the Style tried to dump toss. Sami Zayn was eight, leading to Styles uh going what I just said. Oh yeah, Sami Zayn was at a two. Styles going into the ring and boarded everybody into a four, went after him. Zayn tried to dump Ford, but Boy hold on well on the apron. There wasn't much happening at the point. Johnny Knoxville was at nine, and some of his Jackass Forever buddies made their entrance. Was the fans popping for Knoxville entrance? Knoxville had some repercussion, and tear on that floor was white and red. Knox was purchased on Zayn, followed by an elbow drop. Knoxville pointed at the WrestleMania sign. Knoxville hit Styles with the phenomenal, forearm to the chin. Styles hit him with a flying strikes in a clothesline. Ford went to top. and he hit a hang frog splash in Knoxville, and Hollins lifted Knoxville to an apron. Zane give Knoxville to a um, Haven kick to knock Johnny off the apron. Zane celebrated that, so Styles dumped it. Zane out Priest nearly dumped it out Styles, but AJ holds on Andrew Dawkins of the Street Profits was at 10 with Dawkins going after the Street Profits kicks, and the two Street Profits went after Priest, but he was better to hang on. Lot of standing around doing strikes well. Gently getting. Yeah. Look, WWE don't give a fuck about the Street Profits. They really don't give a fuck about Damian Priest. They eliminated him in that match. And AJ Styles, look, the WWE creators is just I mean suck. WWE creators suck. And they didn't have AJ Styles last in the match long, and they did not go all the way with that. So we get the big man almost was 11, making his first Rumble appearance. This other six guys in the ring, stopping to start at almost. Almost ducked the guys with punches and a back elbow stop and running theory. Dawkins in after almost, which was a mistake, and almost tossed it. Dawkins out forward, jumping out almost, who grabbed it forward by the thigh and tossed it forward out of the ring, almost with a knee to the body of Theory, and Styles with a punch on from partner, almost then almost whipping him to the ring post, and Styles bumped it into the ring post. Ricochet was at 12. He ran down to the ring with a missile drop kick, almost tossed it Ricochet up into the air until he crashed into the mat. Almost was the only man standing well. The others were down. Styles and Theory and Ricochet tried going after Omos, but that was a mistake since Omos ducked Ricochet. Ducked Ricochet was a chop to the chest. Omos tried to Ricochet across the ring. The number 13 man with Chad Gable of the American Academy Apples, the Raw Tag Team Champion. Gable talked to everybody in the champion. Gable talked to everybody in the ring, saying he had a plans to work together so they can go after Omos together. Priest went after Omos with some punches, but then almost managed to toss Priest over the top to the floor. They other guys in the ring working together to dump almost out. Dominic Mysterio was 14, was Dominic joining in the team to dump out Omos. Then Styles ran the ropes and he hit a Omos. Then Styles ran the ropes and he hit a forearm to eliminate Omos from the match. Gable took credit for the elimination. The six guys in the ring were Styles and Theory and Diamond, Holly and Richards and Gable. It was Happy Corbin at 15 for the 7 Royal Rumbles matches accordingly. Into Cole, Corbin hit a hanging choke slam on Theory. Ricochet jumping off the chest of Corbin. Ricochet to the ropes, and Corbin saw him over the top to the floor. Styles went after Corbin. The six guys in the ring all battled by the rope. The 16 mans was Dolph Ziggler for the second half, entering Dolph Ziggler half, Ziggler hit a super kick. Right away, dominant battle. Um, Dom avoided Corbin, and Corbin hit a deep six slam on Dominic, leading to Corbin tossing Dominic over the top to the floor. Styles battled by the apron, and AJ kicked it out Theory to eliminate him. Theory was in the match for 22 minutes. Sheamus was 17 as Styles eliminated Hollins right in the front of the leading to Sheamus. Going after Styles was Sheamus hitting a hang knee left on Styles. Sheamus hit a backbreaker on Gable. Sheamus sent Styles to the apron. Styles heel on Sheamus hit Styles with a 4. Rick Boogs was at 18 with, oh shit. Or it jumped off, so hang on. Yeah, because Rick Boogs was at 18 with Pat calling him in York. Freddie Mercer, Mercury, Mercer Boogs, with some lefted moves on Gable without doing a move. Gable was set up on the top rope. He wanted for a arm bar and Boogs slamming Gable into the ring. Boogs pressed Gable overhead with on heading military press on dumping Gable on over the top to the floor. Madcap Moss was 19 with his buddy Corbin happy. Corbin about Moose entering the match. Corbin nearly entered Sheamus was managed to heal on Boogs, press Ziggler on his head, but Ziggler head on to avoid the elimination. Styles with a jumping kick to Corbin. Moss sends Styles into the corner and Styles come back with a form. Corbin get a hold out Styles with a choke slam backbreaker, and then Moose eliminated Styles. The fans booed that Styles was in the ring for 29 and '05. Accordingly to Cole, it was the Scooter Scotland man Riddle at 20 with the fan chanting, bro, for the man that kicked out his flip flops in the rain. Riddle was a German suplex on Moss cap. Corbin serving Moss for a attack by Booze. Moose sent Booze to the apron and Corbin knocked Booze off the apron to eliminate him. So welcome back Drew McIntyre at 21 to a big pop with didn't know if he was be ready for this show. But here he is looking good after missing the last 4 weeks with a neck injury. Drew cleaned house right away by eliminating Moose with a clothesline, and Drew tossed Corbin over the top to the floor. Drew went under the bottom row to the floor where he tossed Corbin into the steel steps. Drew suplexed Moss on the floor. Drew used it to the steel steps to knock down Moose. The bottom half of the steps. So the steel steps. Kevin Owens was 22. With Drew going after Owens there and that went back into the ring with Owens. Hit a pop-up power bomb on Drew Owens and a cannonball splash in the corner. Owens stumped it on the bear, B-A-R, bear feet, bare feet, off Riddle. and hit a super kick. Rey Mysterio was at 23 in his 13th Royal Rumble match. Rey with the heads is Owens on Owens being a springboard crossbody block on Sheamus, and Rey tries to dump Riddle, but Riddle holds on Owens, battling Rey, leading to a KOD, hitting Sheamus and Ziggler and nearly dumping out Riddle in, but Riddle holds on. Kofi Kingston was 24th from his 14th Royal Rumble match, which is third all time after Kane and Ziggler and Owens and Kofi to their plies. Then it looked like Kofi wanted for a springboard attack, but Owens solved it. Kofi to the barricade. It looked like his was Spoofist to hang for a saving spot. But then they repeatedly showed Kobe feet hit the floor. It's a big man, always at 25, as one of the Raw Tag Team Champion. Otis went into the ring with a spinning back elbow on Ziggler and a overhead suplex on Ziggler. Sheamus nearly get rid of Rey, and Rey hold on Owens with a power slam, and Drew let out standing around punches as they waited for the next guy. So Biggie was at 26. So the Royal Rumble favor as he went into the ring to drop Owens with the belly to belly slam. Biggie tossed the Riddle over the head across the ring. Biggie went at a running slam, and he went more, but Sheamus stopped that. Rey jumped off the apron. Sheamus changed him and hit two backbreakers. There a film face as Bad Bunny entered as the 27th man in the match. Bunny stunner Sheamus across the top, and he hit a cross body block, and Sheamus and Bunny hit a head scissors on Owens. Bunny hit a candidate, destroying on Riddle. Damn, that was a good Sheamus sending Bunny over the top to the apron. Sheamus went for a brogue kick. Bunny ducked it, and Sheamus was eliminated because on that Rey went a hurricane on Ziggler. Bunny tripped it up. Rey again that rope Rey with a 619 kick, and Bunny eliminated Ziggler. Here come the money. At 28 was Shane McMahon entering to a hanging pop. Rey was eliminated by Otis. That was going on. Sheamus delivered some punches to everybody in sight. Sheamus got a hold on a former rival. Kevin Owens is tossing KOD on over the top to the floor. Sheamus exchanges punches with Drew but everybody was up again. Then that rope Randy Orton got a hang popped at 29 cents. They were in St. Louis, and he and the hometown boy for his 14th Rumble match. Owens is a two-time Rumble winner, as we Orton avoids Biggie and hit a RKO on Biggie, and Orton and Riddle tossed it out. Biggie Otis, Orton and RKO. Orton and Riddle jumped it off the back on Otis and hit a RKO and Drew and Riddle. And Otis tossed and Riddle. Biggie was a winner, but picking for a lot of people, but then he did nothing in the match. That's a damn shame. Brock Lesnar was the last man in the match at 30, even though he was in the match entering. I mean, early in the night. Lesnar was belly to belly suplex on Sheamus in the middle. Lesnar gave Orton a clothesline over the top to the floor. The fans didn't like that since they like Orton and Lesnar hit Bad Bunny with the F5 in the middle of the ring. Yeah, middle of the ring, tossing out Bad Bunny easily. Lesnar with a superplex on Sheamus. Lesnar changed Riddle in the air and dumping him over the top rope to the floor. Lesnar clothesline Sheamus to eliminate him. Lesnar and Drew McIntyre were the last two mans left. Is the match Drew won 2 years earlier? Dialed Drew into the turnbuckle. Drew avoided in a F5 and hit a glass grove kiss head, but Lesnar avoided a Claymore kick. Lesnar picked it up, Drew on his shoulders, and Lesnar gave McIntyre F5, the top to the floor. Lesnar wins it with 51 minutes and 17. So it was for me to go under 3 stars for the men's Royal Rumble in the last 20 years, but this one just wasn't that instant. Well, there were a few made surprise like Shane Man, Bad Bunny. They were that excited. So teams of the chosen of who that surprise where I was glad to see Drew McIntyre begin action, was disappointed to see Big E toss aside. If he had was nothing in the match, it also sucked that Kofi Kingston could land safely on the floor and do a elimination toss spot. I guess you can say Lesnar was a surprise, but the guys can't need it. The Rumble, they didn't need the Rumble win. The match they can push Lesnar at any time, and we see them do that all the time. So why give him a Rumble win when it could help somebody else more? As soon as Lesnar got in the pay-per-view, he did destroy everybody so fast, probably because WWE wanted the pay-per-view to end under 4 hours, and by having Lesnar dominate so much, that was a way to end the show on time. I just think this was one of the Wicked Rumble in many years. They could have done a lot better. They could have. So, either way, with Big E, look, WWE don't give a fuck about Big E because he won the WWE champion when he cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase on Bobby Ashley. And then he won it and beat him in the Hell in a Cell on Monday Night Raw. Turn around, beat it Drew McIntyre, and Drew put him over clean as Saudi at Crown Jewels. And then turn around and had him WWE turn around and took the title off of Big E. They was building and it didn't last longer. Look, if that was Triple H, he would have had Big E build up for the past 4 months. And two, you had a strong challenger took the title off of him. Look, WWE don't give a fuck about no Big E. And with Baron Corbin, WWE, they don't even much try to push him in the Royal Rumble, and WWE don't give a shit about him. So, well, I have been on here for 1 hour reviewing a longest pay per view. I've been reviewing it. So don't forget to check out the podcast. Don't forget. So good night. Good night.